Hi, I'm Michael Klyce, violin.
I am Bernardo Castro, cellist.
I'm Helena Hyesoo Kim, a pianist.
And we are here to give you a sneak peek of our upcoming program for the Maytime Magic Odyssey Chamber Music Concert on May 2nd.
In our upcoming concert, our trio is thrilled to present three contrasting works: Light and Matter by Finnish composer Kaija Saariaho, Piano Trio by Leonard Bernstein, and Rise Africa by Innocent Okechukwu. Each of these works offer a unique musical voice. We will begin with Light and Matter, a piano trio composed by Kaija Saariaho, who was born in Helsinki. She actually recently passed away in 2023, but she was widely celebrated as one of the most important composers of our time. Saariaho's music is known for bold exploration of timbre and textures and the frequent use of the extended techniques that really expand the expressive sound range of instruments. Another important aspect of her music is the source of her inspiration. She often draws inspiration from light, color, and visual imagery. In fact, they were direct inspiration for this work, Light and Matter. She said in her program note, the view of Morningside Park outside her window in New York inspired her to write this work. She also reflected that the way light changed across the leaves and played on the stillness of tree trunks became the basis for the musical material. Light and Matter is written for traditional piano trio arrangement, violin, cello, and piano. Although Saariaho had to compose many chamber works for various ensembles, she said that she hesitated for many years to write for this particular arrangement. She said it's because of the weight of its long-standing tradition. When she finally approached it and decided to write this, she envisioned a one-movement work in perpetual motion. Over time, this piece evolved into three continuous sections that shift in tempi and textures. The opening is marked rubato misterioso, a slow searching like a beginning that Saariaho describes as kinetic light energy. This gentle atmospheric start with the piano tremolo gradually gives way to dramatic gestures and rapid expressive exchanges among the instruments. One especially fascinating feature of this piece lies in the string parts. Saariaho calls for extended trill technique in which the string players places their finger lightly on the string as if they're playing harmonics, and then rapidly presses and depresses it. This creates an unusual shimmering sound that evokes the sensation of light shifting across the surface, almost as if one could hear light and changing colors. As you listen, you'll be able to kind of see this imagery. Through these vivid textures and gestures, we hope you to experience a world where sound and light become inseparable. Next piece we'll be playing is one of the Bernstein's earliest composition. His piano trio was composed in 1937 when he was still a student at Harvard University. The piece was first performed by Madison Trio, made up of Bernstein's colleagues from Harvard. Even though it is one of his early work, this trio already hints at many of the qualities that would define Bernstein's later style, including lively rhythms, expressive melodies, and unique blend of musical influences. This piece mixes European classical traditions with fresh American sounds, all wrapped in a slightly sarcastic tone and touches of jazz. There are three movements for this trio. The first movement starts with sorrowful cello solo, and then violin soon picks up and develops, creating a tense, intertwined musical dialogue. The piano enters after with a gentle, mournful solo, then string joins and emotional depth grows. Shifting meters and changing tempos happen frequently in this movement, actually generally for the entire piece. But for this movement, Bernstein really keeps piano somewhat separate from the strings. Sometimes violin plays with the piano right hand, cello plays with the piano left hand. But finally, all these three instruments come together at coda. It really gives a full satisfying moment. The second movement is marked as tempo di marcia. It really acts like a scherzo. Here, Bernstein dives into jazzy rhythms, blue notes, and some syncopations. This shows his growing love for American popular music. The final movement brings back material from the opening largo, weaving it into a lively, well-crafted ending that bursts with youthful energy. Although this piano trio precedes his most popular works, you can really enjoy his youthful voice and energy. Last piece we will be playing in this concert in the second half is The Rise of Africa, written by Nigerian composer Innocent Okechukwu. Rise Africa is a short piano trio that uses the pentatonic scale and elements of African music to tell a powerful and culturally rich story. By blending traditional African idioms with the classical Western forms, it creates a unique musical connection between the two worlds. The title is a bold call for unity and pride, celebrating Africa's strength, heritage, and ongoing rise on the global stage.
See you on May 2nd
For a little bit of
Maytime Magic.
Hello, my name is Peter Miyamoto, and I'd like to invite you to attend Odyssey's Maytime Magic concert this Friday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. at the First Baptist Church. For my part on the program, I'll be playing two piano pieces with Ayako Tsuruta. I just returned from 3 performances in St. Louis with the Springfield, Missouri Symphony, and in a collaboration with the St. Louis Ballet. And we played a very interesting 4-movement concerto by Morton Gould. It's very jazzy. It's kind of like, reminds me a lot of Rhapsody in Blue, Gershwin. And it's a fantastic find, virtually unknown. We're going to do a 2-piano version of the last movement of that. It reminds me of like a musical hoedown. It's a lot of fun. Morton Gould was a very central character to American music. He was a prodigy. He had his first piece composed and published when he was 6 years old. Fantastic pianist. He actually has a blistering performance recording of this piece called Interplay, and it was interesting because it's so fast, and I thought, wow, this is going to be really hard to put together with the orchestra. But it's funny, when we collaborated with the ballet, they kept on asking, can we have it a little slower? Can we have it a little slower? So it was actually still a lot of fun. It's still very energetic, and I'm looking forward to sharing at least a movement of it with the Odyssey audiences. Then later in the program, Ayako and I will return for originally two piano composed piece, Milhaud's Scaramouche. It's just a fun piece. One interesting fact is that Darius Milhaud was actually the secretary to the Brazilian ambassador of France, and traveled for about 2 years to Brazil, where as his composer side, he spent that time really exploring Brazilian music and rhythms. So you'll hear that definitely. The last movement is a really fun, rather famous samba, but you'll hear those rhythms also in the first movement. He's known for some bitonality, so it's a little bit crunchy, intervals and harmonies at times, but I think the rhythms are so infectious, and the second movement is this beautiful, almost French canson song. I think you'll really enjoy this piece. Anyway, I hope you join us for this Odyssey concert on Friday, May 2nd at 7 p.m.
Hello, I'm Paul Seitz, composer of two pieces that will open the second half of the Odyssey Chamber Music Series Maytime Magic concert on May 2nd at 7 p.m. at the First Baptist Church in Columbia, Missouri. Although one composition is an instrumental trio and the other is a song for voice and ensemble, both pieces were inspired by poems, and both were part of a project I undertook to compose some chamber music that included the guitar. The first piece, Wild Geese, is a trio for violin, guitar, and cello. It takes its title from the poem of the same name by the American poet of nature, Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. In composing the music, I've tried to evoke the struggles, the evolution of experience, and the cycles of return depicted in the poem. The second composition is for voice accompanied by violin, guitar, cello, and piano. It's a setting of the poem On Being an Artist by the New York-based American poet Noel Coward, a poem that seemed to me to consider a question I'd been grappling with. What are the reasons to continue making art? Here's the poem. Saturn seems habitual, the way it rages in the sky when we're not looking. On this note, the trees still sing to me, and I long for this modeled world. Patterns of the lamplight on this leather, the sun listening. My brother, my sister, I was born to tell you certain things, even if no one really listens. Give it back to me as the bird takes up the whole sky, ruined with nightfall. If I can remember the words in the storm, I will be well enough to sit here with you a little while. I'm thrilled that my music will be performed by an ensemble that includes violinist Alexandre da Silva Negrao, cellist Natalie Parker, pianist Ryan Key, and my wife Christine Seitz as vocalist, and I'm honored to be able to join them as guitarist for this performance. I hope you enjoy Wild Geese and On Being an Artist.